Greetings and thanks for tuning in today. Today I want to talk about the question, are you ignoring the warning signs to improving your health? My name is Dr. Jeanette DeWitt. I am a doctor of physical therapy and a medical fitness expert. And today the reason I want to address this is because I had something happen to me earlier today, and I had received all these reminders and I was just flat out ignoring them because I had it in my brain that I had a medical appointment at 10:20 this morning. The problem is it was actually at 9:20 this morning. But here's what happened leading up to this appointment mishap for me. And which, by the way, I did make the appointment on time, because I did actually listen to my schedule. So here's what happened yesterday. I got the email reminder letting me know that my appointment was in 24 hours. Wonderful, excellent. I'm thinking 10:20. The email clearly stated 9:20, but in my head, I'm thinking 10:20. Then this morning, I received another reminder that I had an appointment in 2 hours. I received that message at 7:20. Again, my brain is saying my appointment's at 10:20. I ignore that text message. It's not registering. I sit down to eat my breakfast at 9:05. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to check my agenda for the day. I look, and all of a sudden, I see that my appointment is in 15 minutes. Now, fortunately, I just got up. I disregarded my breakfast, got in the car, went to my appointment. I made it and arrived safely and on time. But I just kept thinking, like, how did this happen? Why did I keep ignoring the reminders that I received? In fact, even 2 days ago, I filled out the little intake survey, letting the doctor know what he was going to be looking at for the day. And it didn't even register that my appointment was not at 10:20 until I sat down and had this immediate urgency that my appointment's in 15 minutes. So I was able to recover from that, but it made me think about how many times do we ignore our reminders? How many times do we ignore our nudges to improve our health? Here's an example of a little reminder that you might need to take care of your health. Maybe you're going up and down the stairs and you're getting winded and you're like, man, why am I getting out of breath? Well, when was the last time you exercised? Maybe that's your nudge that, oh, my cardiovascular system isn't as efficient as it should be. So maybe I need to start a cardiovascular program. Or maybe you get a nudge and it's actually your doctor and they're like, you haven't been seen in the past year. You need to schedule your annual physical. And you're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then the next thing you know, it's like 6 months later and you get another reminder, or you just happen to think about it and you're like, I haven't been to the doctor in over a year and a half. Those are nudges to maybe take control and do better and improve your health. Here's another reminder. You are trying on shoes and you look down to see what they look like and you can't see your shoes because you have abdominal mass in the way. That might be a reminder that you need to start to lose some weight, or maybe the belt doesn't fit in the same hole that it used to, or maybe the pants don't fit at all. Especially now as we're changing seasons, you might be trying on clothes for this upcoming season and they don't fit like they used to. That can be a nudge that I need to improve my health. I need to lose some weight. Or maybe you're just out of sorts and you're not sleeping and you're tired all the time. You're lethargic and you're thinking, well, let's see, I went to bed at 11:30 and I have to get up for work at 5. That's not enough sleep. Do you need to reassess your sleep health? These are all types of reminders that we get and we just disregard. We just ignore them because we get in our head that, oh, I can do that later. Oh, it's not that important right now. I can take care of that another time. I can call the doctor, at the end of the week and schedule an appointment. And then something happens and it becomes a sense of urgency, kind of like what happened to me earlier when I was sitting at the table ready to eat my breakfast at 9:05 and realized that I had this appointment in 15 minutes because I had it in my head that it was at 10:20 when really it was at 9:20, and I had disregarded every single email reminder, text reminder. They all told me the same thing. They all told me what I needed to do, and that was to go to my appointment at 9:20. Except I had it in my head that it was 10:20. It's the same thing that we do with our health. We say, oh, I don't need to exercise today because I'll do it tomorrow. Or, oh, I'll just stay up for another 30 minutes and it'll be okay. Maybe I'll take a little nap at lunch tomorrow and I'll catch up on my sleep. Or, oh, it's just one slice of chocolate cake and I can have that today because I won't have sweets tomorrow. Or I'll choose, to have a healthier lunch, and then I'll have this fast food, big, caloric meal, and I'll just do that, for today. And then the next thing you know, at the end of the week, you've eaten out 5 days that week, and you weren't planning on that. These are all reminders to us to stop, pause, take a self-evaluation, and think, what can I be doing to slow down, think this through, and make a healthier choice? And I want to give you a few tips right now. First of all, if you haven't been to your primary care physician, or if you don't have a primary care physician, I encourage you to get one and to schedule your annual physical. The purpose of a primary care physician is to be your liaison to specialists. They are the ones who red flag everything. So like if you're EKG, usually, if you're over 40, sometimes your doctor might do an EKG just to make sure everything's good with your heart. Maybe your EKG is off. They're going to send you to a cardiologist. Maybe your blood pressure's high. They're going to start to want to get that under control, either through medication, diet, food. Usually the combination of the three work the best. And they're going to look at your cholesterol. They're going to look at your weight. And maybe you need to lose some weight. That will help with diabetes management, will help with blood pressure management. But the number one thing that you can do for your health if you haven't had an annual physical in the past year is to go do that. And if you don't have a primary care physician because you use the urgent care, I really encourage you to get that primary care physician because they're going to be able to chart all your blood work, all your current status, and then see if there's a trend over time. That's really, really important, especially as you're aging. Here's another tip. Let's say you go ahead and you get your physical and you have a little bit of blood pressure issues. Maybe you're borderline diabetic. If you're borderline anything, that's confusing, right? You're either diabetic or you're not, right? Well, if you're borderline, what does that exactly mean? You have high blood pressure or you don't, or you're borderline high blood pressure. That's a warning sign. That is a reminder like, okay, you know what? I'm borderline. That means if I make some subtle changes, I could not be borderline and I could be in the clear. That is what I'm talking about. Those little nudges, those little reminders, those little alerts are telling you, hey, I need to do something now. And if you are hypertensive, if you do have diabetes and it's a type 2, meaning it's happened over time, you weren't born with that, or you don't have some type of like failure of your insulin intake. If you are diabetic because you're overweight or because you have your diet is out of control, these are things that you can take control of, and you can potentially reverse that. So I don't make promises on everything, but diet, maintaining a healthy weight that's appropriate for your age and your height, and also controlling your blood pressure, all those three things, those are things that you can do sometimes with medication, but sometimes you can get off medication and be able to control those through diet and exercise and proper sleep. So look at all these reminders. Look at all these nudges that I've talked about. Can you see your toes when you're standing up? Do you have difficulty putting your socks and shoes on? Do you struggle with going up and down the steps? Do you struggle with unloading groceries? Can you walk through the perimeter of a grocery store for 45 minutes as the cart is getting heavier without getting tired for the rest of the day? If any of these type of nudges are happening to you, your health may not be at its best, and you don't necessarily need a diagnostic exam to tell you that. Your body feels that. What you need is a physical to make sure you are safe to exercise and to get a potential referral to a specialist if your blood work or your high blood pressure or your diabetes shows up. Now you got to start working with specialists regarding that so you can take control of it. But don't ignore the warning signs. Don't be like me over the past 3 days and ignore the email and ignore the text reminder. And then be sitting there and like, oh my gosh, my appointment's in 15 minutes. Like I wasn't nudged or reminded to be there at the appropriate time. You don't want to be in a scenario where you're in a squad car on the way to in an ambulance on the way to the hospital because that's your wake-up call. That's your warning sign. That's what's happening because you can't feel your legs. Your legs are so swollen because you're showing signs of congestive heart failure, and your blood pressure's been so high because you didn't go to the doctor for 10 years. These things happen to people. They think, I'm going to put this off. I'm going to put this off. Heart disease is a silent killer. It doesn't tell you that it's coming, but it nudges you by being out of breath, by gaining weight, by showing up as borderline high blood pressure or I've got white coat syndrome. Those are reminders for you to do something, and I encourage you to do something. So that's kind of my soapbox today because I was reminded that I ignored my email reminders. I ignored my text message reminders. And that's a simple thing, right? Who cares if I missed my appointment? Well, my health cared because I was able to advance my health this morning. I'm working with a specialist to help me figure out some nutrition things. And since I've been working with him, I've realized that I have sensitivities to food that are detrimental to me. I'm not allergic to them, but I'm sensitive to them. So it makes my digestive tract kind of wacky and it messes with my sleep. Since working with him, I'm sleeping much better and I feel much better in my digestive system. I wouldn't have known any of that other than the fact that I've been uncomfortable and I've been tired. And nothing major is going on, but since I've changed my food and since I've changed what I do before I go to bed and my sleep hygiene, I feel a lot more energy. But I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have sought out specialist help. So go seek out a specialist help. First, go check with a primary care physician. And if you need specialist help in regards to losing weight, if you need help regarding getting rid of pain, if you need help in trying to figure out your sleep and trying to figure out how to be less stressed and ease muscle tension, if you need help trying to figure out how to get more me time so that you can give more to other people, your career, your family, I'm the specialist for all that. It's a one-stop shop in terms of that. But I'm not a medical doctor, so you want to make sure that all that other stuff is cleared out. And then, if you do have high blood pressure, if you do have diabetes, I can work with you too, because I can work with your doctor. But if you are looking to improve your health, sometimes we just can't do it on our own. And we need that specialist to give us a little nudge, to give us a little guidance, and to give us a little bit of accountability. And if that sounds like it resonates with you, if it makes sense to you, and you want to carry out a conversation a little bit more in depth that is unique to you and more custom to you, then go ahead and private message me and reach out to me, because I am happy to steer you in the right direction, even if I am not the best first place for you to start. I know a lot of people throughout actually the country, because I can work with people nationally, and I know a lot of people that could help you if I'm not the right person. But I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope that you found value in this. And if you have, could you share this out with people? Especially if you know someone, go ahead and share this out and tag them. Do whatever you got to do with that. And I'd also appreciate an introduction, because I am on a mission to helping people lose weight, relieve stress and muscle tension, as well as find and create time in their schedule for themselves so they can fully engage with their family and their career. That's who I want to work with, and if that resonates with you, go ahead and message me. If that sounds like someone you know could benefit from working with me, then I would love that introduction. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed day.